isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m. where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Okay, welcome back, and our guest is Otumba Segun Sowunmi. He's a PDP stakeholder and political affairs analyst. And in this very interesting conversation that we're having this morning...
I understand...
Yeah. Okay, that man saying that his patience for the PDP is exhausted.
Yori, I understand the frustration of the... I understand the disappointment, the frustration of that caller from Irewole. And I would lie to you if I say that there is a nation of 220 million people that views are isolated to him. People are quite frustrated with the democracy we're running, and they blame the parties because obviously in their mind they've tried PDP and they've tried PDP. But what I like to say to people like Irewole is that generational shift of battle is taking place everywhere. The last generation of the Bola Tinubus, the articles and all of that, this is the last time. This is the last time they will have an opportunity to hold on to this. So I feel that the best thing for Irewole and the lot of the Irewoles of this world is Joshua calling from Irewole. Because maybe Irewole's ideas is what the political party in his base requires. Yeah, Mr. Joshua from Irewole, I know. What I'm saying is that maybe the kinds of opinions he can bring to the table is what society needs in that party. And let me be clear to him. It is the height of citizen irresponsibility in a multi-party democracy that was fought for and people died for. And you cannot join the parties. You cannot support some. You cannot help them find... and then you cannot even come out on the day to vote. And then when an election has taken place and an outcome has been settled, then you start getting angry and saying they should destroy the democracy. The problem is that citizen unrest, who is going to manage it? Before you can say the citizens should come and do whatever, you will be listening to the kinds of ideas the front runners of that kind of play are even throwing up. What kind of ideas are they throwing up? You have to still, as much as you look at the president, look at the front players, you still have to compare the ideas they are running. And you have to look at the lay on ground situation in the country. And you have to say, okay, where's this guy trying to take us to? Where's this guy? Does this one even understand what he's talking about at all? Otherwise, you're going to be saying that you want the country to get into chaos, and definitely no sensible country will easily allow itself to go to chaos. There are still enough authorities
let me bring on,
to prevent that.
Let me bring on another caller.
We will reform, we'll come back fresh, with everybody, and we'll be good to go.
All right. Let me bring on Mr. George, calling in from Ikeja. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And good morning to Mr. Sowunmi.
Okay.
Uncle Yori, I recall the last time I watched your program when Mr. Sowunmi was the guest.
Thank you.
I called in and made a contribution regarding PDP story. And in his answer, he referred to me as making a silly contribution. Apparently, he wasn't happy with the contribution I made. But I didn't have an opportunity to call back to let him know I'm not as young and silly as he thought. In my next birthday, I will be and my volition for the goodness of my country is the reason why I called a program like this to make my contribution. It's not for selfish reasons. Let me say this, Uncle Yori. The day the PDP allowed Atiku Abubakar to bamboozle everybody against the laws of the party to become the presidential candidate of that party for 2023 election was the day this crisis started. That was when the people of conscience in that party said, no, we cannot allow this. Even when it became apparent that Atiku has taken a wrong step. And people were appealing to him to go back to this group and make amends. He failed to do it, and the group as a group did not have the courage to call him to order. As you and I are speaking today on Priori, Mr. Atiku has not gone or talked to Wiki and his group that what happened was wrong. How do you make peace on top of injustice? It doesn't happen. That is the simple truth of the matter. Until you address the cause of a problem, you can never solve it. You just be solving the surface. If you don't solve the root, it will germinate again.
All right.
We are Nigerians. We want a party that can put the ruling party in check. If the president, if I support President Tinubu, but that doesn't make him perfect. He makes mistakes. I want a group that can call him to order when he makes that mistake. And the overall interest is for me as a Nigerian and other Nigerians. So opposition is a necessity in politics. When we say something, it is because we want it for the good of all. PDP means to reform, but the reform must be genuine. There must be humility on the part of the leaders who are posing like kings that cannot be challenged. And then there will be a settlement. Anything other than that is not going to work.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. George. Really do appreciate your call. And there you go, Segun. I think there are a lot of people that will feel close to his idea.
Yes. Let me first of all, yeah, I heard him loudly. I heard him loudly. Let me first of all say to Mr. George, Elder George, do forgive me that when we engage, sometimes passion can inflame. I am not a rude person in nature. I really apologize. That's not the intention. If you recall, that particular discussing, all I was trying to say to you was that I hear you, and Yori is my witness. I came to this program about that time, and I screamed almost the same sentiment that you are screaming. I have gone to Ayafayoshe, one of the important people, former governor there. I laid on the ground, held his feet to beg him, because I understand that I have nobody has the right to tell another person not to be hurt. And when people are hurt, you can't make light of their hurt. You have to first of all accept that you are hearing what they're saying, and then probably you are willing to say, I'm sorry for the last one, can we try again? But hello, these are decisions that at individual levels must be taken. At an individual level, I'm very close to His Excellency Atiku. I support him a lot. I back him. I run narrative. I push the agenda. But that does not mean that I will not come and apologize when there's a need for an apology. But you see, that is only one side of the story. Sometimes in the midst of the topsy-turvy activities of an election, the process of going to apologize to the man who came short or who came second or whatever, usually require a little bit of toying of the eyes on the other guy. I may wish to come and apologize to you, but if you don't make it easy, then there will be enough people to make you say, oh, no need. But 2023 is regretted. I need to state very clearly, that election, that primary of PDP, had at his heart a committee headed by former governor of Tom, who was to zone. It was on their table that they left it open. You can't deprive anybody of a constitutional right to participate in an election that has been left open if he then gets the election and won an election that was quite close. I'm not excusing Atiku. I'm just saying that he is but just a human being too. There's a lot of begging and pleading that one can do even to the Atiku himself that, okay, sorry, you've been hurt as well. So maybe my duty and why I'm standing in the middle now is that I just believe that we should just beg everybody. Let us beg everybody. After a while, we will know the ones that are unpersuadable. Then we'll cut them off and build the party around them. Because the alternative is we'll be doing an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye, and the whole village will go blind. And while the village is trying to go blind, the entire citizens of the country is to at least be united. But let me say something to you, Yori. The challenge we have at the national, all this talk of that, does not percolate to the states. So we're still a very strong, cohesive party at the rural area. But you know, the head of the fish is what directs the swimming of the fish. And that's why we're putting so much. In any case, Nigerians love us so much. That's why they talk about us. What is there to talk about with our rivals? Our rivals are running a gang of zombies.
I hear you.
You hardly hear them quarrel even about anything. Is it normal? Is it even in your family? No, let me finish, Yori. Yori, let me land. Is it even in your family that you will expect that husband and wife will not quarrel? If you see a piece of a graveyard in a political party, something is not right.
Excuse me, so very sorry. I've been holding on to a caller. Agbenga in Abuja, thank you very much for holding on all that while.
And thank you to my brother Segun. You see, just like George said, the issue of PDP issue is rooted on the fact that somebody feel with money, I can get what I want. Other people say, okay, you have this money, also we have it. Let's log it out. I mean, in the build up to 2023 election, they made that mistake by throwing it open. And based on that, Elijah Atiku was saying, yeah, if you throw it open, I can contest. And to make it worse, during the convention, that was the root of the bitterness and the fight between Wike and Omtin. Wike did not expect that the former governor of Sokoto will still come back and say, I give all my votes and my supporters should vote for it, because he already made the speech. He has concluded. So you are looking forward to a contest that, look, this is a fight to finish. But by that announcement, you can see the results now. Look at the difference between Wike and Atiku. It showed that announcement caused a big problem. But nevertheless, they were expecting that Elijah Atiku will pick Wike for damage control as the vice president candidate. But it did not. So this anger the Wike caucus or supporters and the rest of it. And the battle line was drawn. Number one is that interest supersedes national interest. If Elijah Atiku had done what the president of USA now did, bidding to say, look, I want my party to win this election. I'm ready to sacrifice everything. And it's not too late. You can still do it. Get at 27 to say, look, I'm not contesting at all. I want a Southern president. I will support it. I will this and that. That will be a healing process. But Elijah Atiku, as part of my life, I will contest. And that statement is still not go well with some people. Secondly, now, the problem between Wike and Fubara, the people come now see it as a way of payback time to Wike, and that makes things worse. They should have stayed neutral. If they have stayed neutral, I'm telling you, the healing process will have been very easy. But now it made it difficult because the authorities of Atiku against even the last election had showed that in support of Fubara. All the Atiku supporters, like Secondus and the rest, they have been throwing tantrum at Wike, so this makes things worse. But it's not yet too late. Their family, they can sort it out. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Again, once more, thank you, Gwenga, for holding on. And Otumba Segun, I know that there's a delay between us, so sometimes when I speak, it takes more than a few seconds to get to you. But thank you for your understanding. Well, you heard it, because I was going to come there myself. I was going to bring up the name of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and how he seems to be holding sway within the party.
You know, Yori,
unable to call him to order. Yeah,
Yori, my man. Yori, my man.
Okay, go on.
Yori, my man. You know, we have an ability to say it as it is. Yori, you know we have the ability to say it as it is. And I know you can bet, or even me in my bag, I'll say it as it is. I have said to people that our situation would not have been this bad had Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu not took Wike into his government. If Wike had not been in his government and he had been available, not distracted by the service that he's rendering now, some people say it's good service and all that, I guarantee you we would have resolved this matter. the matter became complicated because in the eyes of a majority of decent people, how do you place him? Do you say he's in PDP or do you say he's in APC? Beyond that, I don't see any big issue that the rank and file have with PDP, except for the fact that they are used to the Wike that when he's in PDP, he's firing on all cylinders. No, listen, Yori. Look, listen, Yori, don't let us play games. When Wike clearly was governor there, even though there was a president in Buhari in APC, Wike was firing on all cylinders. Wike is now in PDP, so he says, but also in the, doing the work of the FCT and all that. And it's causing a lot of, this, people are just uneasy. They are afraid to say that their real thing is that they want their man back, one way or the other. And, well, they may not know it. It's like a surgeon. You can either call a surgeon to come and help you do an operation, or you can call a booker to come and help you butcher the person. I seem to be one of those ones who like to be a little bit fine about the surgery. Wike is a factor in this country now. We can pretend, we can agonize, we can cry, we can shout, we can sing, we can dance. The reality of the matter is that we have a scenario on our hand. But because he is serving in their party, the greatest good Wike can do for PDP today is to just write a letter and say, "Dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I have shown what I can do for your party and for your government. But my own party, my original party, my house is bleeding. I need to resign from your government and go and face my own party issue. No reasonable son of a king will sit down entertaining guests in another kingdom when his own father's house is on fire." So I think
national service.
That's the best way I can say it.
Wait,
without having to blame one person or blame another. And for those who are saying,
the admirable thing, the mutually admirable thing is that Wike is in the PDP. He has said he has no intention of resigning his membership from the PDP, but he was invited to national service, sought clearance from the party. The party did not object. You are now saying that if a person is in a separate party from the ruling party, doesn't that person have a duty to heed the call?
No, Yori, what I'm saying is that, hold on. No, Yori, go and sit down somewhere. Yori, go and sit down somewhere. Yori, go and sit down somewhere. What I'm saying is that, I am saying that, okay, that duty and that responsibility you are doing for this national service of APC and Bola Tinubu is distracting you from solving the problem of your own father's kingdom. Come back home. And if you are not going to come back home, then be brave enough to cut loose the umbilical cord and say, okay, I prefer them and I am gone. No dog can guard two houses. Not when you have the capability of a Wike. That's the point I'm making. I didn't meet him. I'm not his father. I'm not his junior brother. I'm me and him. How old is he older than me? I'm not. I hardly even meet him. But I can see that Wike is a recurring decimal because people make Atiku also a recurring decimal.
Yep. So, but since we don't have any more time, and it's been quite exciting, it always is when you're here. Are you saying that you are optimistic that the PDP can still pull from the brink this situation to come back into the good favor of, the citizenry? Indeed, make a dash for it again in 2027.
We went to Edo. We went to Edo, and all persons of goodwill know we won Edo. Now, yes, if we were not able to bring it from the brinks, why will anybody go into Edo and go and start cooking the doing all of those things that we're going to go and prove in court?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute,
At every point in time, PDP has never lost an election in Nigeria.
Edo,
what has
what
always happened to PDP?
In Edo?
No, hold on. Let me land on my thought.
But the fact is that
hold on. Yori, let me land on my thought.
Oh, yeah, land.
Yori, let me land on my thought. PDP has never lost any election in Nigeria. What has happened in Nigeria is that PDP members have always been dashing out the election to their rivals. In 2015, but for new PDP, they would not win. In 2019, but for the non-commitment of a lot of people, they will not win. In 2023, had Wike and Peter Obi not been angry and away from the party, they cannot win. So we know that our major issue to bring life abundance to the Nigerian citizen is for us to just unite. Once we unite, they are going to pack their load and they will go.
All right. I mean, that's a fine place to leave it. And I'm going to thank you there, Otumba Segun. I'm going to thank you right there. Really appreciate your coming on and giving us this optimistic perspective for the PDP. Thank you very much. Okay, there's a delay between us, but that's our program, quite an exciting one. And do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folane. Bye-bye for now.
The following is a paid presentation.